Well, it was only a matter of time until this furry bastard got his paws on something trendy. Fallout 4 has always been one of my favorite games, especially for the fun gameplay and build potential. Guns, energy, melee, explosives, all viable and exceedingly fun. But what about role-playing? Well, neutered. But at least they let us become who we're role-playing as, with its vast armor and character customizer. But then I saw the Creation Club and I had an idea. It's time we look at today's question: can you beat Fallout 4 as Morgan Yu? Now, I haven't played Prey at all, but I've watched countless videos from YouTube and even gush about it with a friend, so I know a bit about Mr. Yu to get an idea on how he acts and fights. I even think I did a pretty good, okay-ish job on the character, since I could have just downloaded a hair mod and found the closer style, but I've only downloaded mods for convenience because doing the opening is garbaggio. After picking a decent special stat sheet, I head on out to the Commonwealth to achieve victory as the Engineer Supreme. The only thing from the Creation Club that I will be using is the Prey Morgan Yu armor, since, well, why wouldn't I use it? At the start of the game, we already have the armor, but no weapon. Thankfully, you have a wrench melee in Prey, and there's only one legendary I know of that's close, and is a wrench. Big Jim. So, heading over to the pond, I eventually eavesdrop on a bit before I actually send them back to the dirt with a new coat of black and blue. Surprisingly, they didn't put up much of a challenge. I even quick-saved in case I would get obliterated, but nope. I guess with that, we have our first weapon. It's not too bad, and the effect could always be better, but if we get another legendary wrench, it's free game, as much as I would love for that to happen. After talking with the friend from earlier, we've come up with a list of weapons closely suited to the ones from Prey, as best we could without modding in some. Here is the list of weapons that we can use. The pistol will be the Deliverer, the Q-beam is the Tesla rifle, the null wave emitters are pulse mines, and we were debating on whether or not the Cryolator should be used as the replacement for the glue cannon. While it can freeze enemies, it also damages them, unlike the cannon. But we went for yes. It would be something Morgan would use. As for ones we can't use, the shotgun could be the combat shotgun, but it's too far of a stretch. Crossbow and disruptors aren't a thing without mods. So, unfortunately, those are our weapons. The current plan is to reach level 15 as soon as possible, so that we can get our rifle and continue with the main quest. On our way to Diamond City, I stop by the police station and get some easy XP by helping Dance. It went well, much to my surprise. Usually they get overrun and down when I get here, but they killed almost everything with ease. On our way to Arcjet, something miraculous happened. One of the caravan guards survived. Out of my hundreds of hours playing this game, I have never seen this happen, as I'm pretty sure they're coded to have 1 HP, but she somehow lived. Another odd encounter was just down the road with this creature-looking settler who just appeared out of the Nither. We're not even an hour into the game, and we're already getting new things. Nice. Arcjet was pretty much the usual, except I took way too long to hack this terminal, while Dance just showed me how good he is at stationary walking. Once we're outside and I retrieve my oddly shaped pile of caps, it's back to Diamond City. It was then that I thought of who to side with, so I put my vote in the server, and people really loved the Minutemen, so we went with that. Besides the railroad, I could see Morgan siding with them, wanting to help right the wrongs of the Commonwealth. So it checks out. Along with that, we ran into Art and his doppelganger, getting a bit of XP before politely asking the real Art to give his synth a lead-laden gift.
Just kill this thing and be done with it.
What? No!
Wondering if Nurbit could beat Fallout 4 as Art. It was then, from Diamond City to Goodneighbor, that I had a realization. I forgot to pick up the Grognak book and special book from Sanctuary before I left. Only because I picked up the Grognak book at Swan's Pond. Needless to say, any extra melee damage of any kind is needed for what is essentially hitting someone with a TV show prop. After a quick pit stop in Goodneighbor to sell any and everything I didn't need, I beelined it straight to the Old North Church. It was here I decided to finally put those few points in agility to good use. And it was pretty fun playing Prey and Fallout, even if synths and ghouls aren't exactly Typhon. It was here that I remembered something pretty cool. Since I didn't do anything the game deemed notable, Deacon didn't have any info on me. Not even the speech check during the mission briefing dialogue. You tend to forget how rare some of these dialogue encounters are if you just play the game normally. So this was a very nice change of pace. Heading back to Walden Pond and making my way to Ricky and Deacon, I level up and finally get the second rank of Big Leagues, hoping we could do more damage than a ghoul on Jet. We were as ready as ever to sneak into the HQ and take back the switchboard. Is what I would say if I didn't look over the edge of the highway and plummet into a Morgan-shaped ditch. Once we're actually in the tunnels and not picking dirt out of our teeth, everything goes as you expect. Wait for Deacon, kill synths, ignore the covert ops book, get the device, and die because you forgot mines were at the exit. One reload later, I'm at the start of the tunnel. One rerun later, and actually remembering to grab a book this time, we make our way outside and put our new gun to use. Honestly, I forgot how nice the Deliverer was. Makes me wish 9mm pistols were back in the game. Also, quick note about the mines near the end. Yeah, they weren't there on the second run. I have no idea why they just disappear, but they just do. It just works. Arriving back at the church, we steal everything they own, get our next quest from Carrington, and leave to our base. No one thinks much of Hangman Alley, but I personally love it for the small shelter aesthetic, and you'll see me here a bit to drop off loot and upgrade. Once we're done modding, it's back to one last side quest before we progress with the story and rescue Nick. We talk to Stockton, clear the raiders, and start making our way to Ticonderoga. Only this time it was buggier, yet easier? H2 was nowhere to be seen. A super mutant suicider had blown up the remaining raiders, and Ricky just appeared out of nowhere to complain some more. Of course, the game gets more interesting when I make a video on it, rather than me just playing for fun. Shaking off the unnerving fear of Ricky coming out of nowhere to once again terrorize my dreams, we arrive at the station to rescue everyone's favorite detective. I actually tried something new, using the stealth boys I gathered and tried to sneak past the gangsters. I almost got to the vault, only to get cocky and down a threat and blow my cover. Everything else was sneaky beaky like, even when we got to Skinny. I won't bore anyone, he went down easy, his goons were even harder than he was, funnily enough. Here's a fun idea, next time you play Fallout 4. Follow Nick back to Diamond City. I know for a fact almost everyone just says to meet him there, but walking him was nice, peaceful, save for the pack of mongrels. While this plays in the background, I can speak to you about the plan. Alright, here's the full plan. The moment we hit level 15, we are starting the Automatron DLC and rescuing Jezebel so we can get the Tesla rifle. After that, we'll take Dogmeat to Vault 111 and get the Cryolator. Pulse mines are still very rare and unable to be bought yet, but once we're aboard the Prydwen, we'll check Night Stock. Finally, we'll join up with Preston and start their questline for the story. You know the drill by now. We talk to Nick, persuade the mayor for the key, ransack Kellogg's Frosted Flakes for everything he owns, and fast travel to Fort Haken because walking there is a goddamn nightmare. Inside was the usual. Only when we got to Kellogg, well... Attempt number 2, and we managed to kill him. Stripping him, literally as well, of everything he owns, we take a picture of the Prydwen and leave for our base to drop everything off and mod once again. Once we're all suited and booted, we return to Pipsqueak and Nickelodeon to head over to Goodneighbor one final time. And with that, we end the video. Sorry for cutting it short, but at the moment my hard drive space is limited, so this will likely be a 2-parter, maybe 3 if we're unlucky. I really hope you enjoyed part 1. Special thanks to my friend for making the thumbnail for this video, and my brave friend for giving me some thoughts on the gun suggestions. With that, I'll see you next week for part 2, hopefully. Cheers, lads.